Thiruchitrambalam, Hara Hara Nama Parvati Padaye, Hara Hara Mahadeva, Sitsabesa, Sivasidambaram, Tenarve Sivane, Putri Nattavarkum Reva, Putri Thiruchitrambalam. இடுக்கும் மாக்கதை இந்தமிழ் செய்யுளாய் நடக்கும் மேன்மை நமக்கருள் செய்திட தடக்கே ஐந்துடை தாழ்செவி நீள்முடி கடக்களிற்றை கருத்துள் இருத்துவாம். உலகலாம் உணர்ந்து ஓதற்கரியவன் நிலவுலாவிய நிர்மலிவேணியன் அலகில் சோதியன் அம்பலத்து ஆடுவான் மலர் சிலம்படி வாழ்த்தி வணங்குவாம். சைவத்தின் மேற் சமயம் வேறிலை அதில் சார் சிவமாம் தெய்வத்தின் மேற் தெய்வம் இல்லனும் நான்மறைச் செம்பருள் வாய்மை வைத்த திருத்தேவாரமும் திருவாசகமும் உய்வை தரச் செய்த நால்வர் பொற்றாள் எம்முயிர் துணையே. தில்லைவாழந்தனரை முதலாக சீர்படைத்த தொலையதாம் திருத்தொண்ட தொகையடியார் பதம் போற்றி ஒல்லையவர் புராண கதை உலகறியே விரித்து உரைத்த செல்வமலி குன்றத்தூர் செக்கிழாரடி போற்றி. ஆதாரமாகிய மாணிக்க வாசகர் பாதார விந்தம் மணிமோ பண்டு செய்த தீதான பாவங்கள் எல்லாம் தீர்ந்து ஞானோதயம் வந்து கூடிடுமே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Devotees, welcome back to the Periyapuranam Discourse series. As always, by the grace of the Almighty Lord Shiva, we're going to think through the life history of 63 Nayanmars through Periyapuranam. Let me bow my head to the lotus feet of Deva Chekla Swamigal and Gunamati 57th Pontiff Sri Sri Guru Mahasanidhanam Rajasarana Manikvasaga Swamigal. All right. With the blessings of Almighty Lord Shiva, let's go ahead and get started. So during the last class, we covered about the Thiruvarur City Divine. Today, we are going to cover Third Konda Puranam. It actually covers the history of initial part of Sundaramurti Swamigal history, where he was born and how he got blessed by the Lord Shiva from Thiruvannamalur, and then the history of Thirutamrattogai. That pretty much covers the Third Konda Puranam. So Sundaramurti Swamigal, at the order of the Almighty Lord Shiva from Kailash, he was born in South India, in a holy city called Tirunavalur. It's in Nadu, Tirunavalur. He was born to the great saintly devotees of Sri Membadu Satayana and Sri Senyani Pratiyatayar. So they were the parents of Sundaramurti Swamigal. Deva Chekla Swamigal will even say no one can even cover the fame of Senyani Pratiyatayar because she was the mother of Sundaramurti Swamigal. So he was initially given the name by his parents as Nambi Arurar. He was born in Adi Shaiva community, extremely beautiful as Lord Murugan, he just looks like Lord Murugan. When Nambi Arurar was young, he was playing with his toy chariot on the road, and when he was playing on the street, the king of that Nadu, Thirumanaippadi Nadu, Srimat Narasingha Munayaraya Nayanar, one of the 63 Nayanmars, he was just passing by in his chariot, and he looked at the divine beauty of the toddler, Nambi Arurar, and got attracted to the kid, and then he got down off the chariot, and then he embraced Srimad Nambi Arurar. Then he went with him to his house and found that his father was one of his old-time friend named Satayana, Srimad Satayana Swami. He said, Satayana, I love your son very much. I love him more than anything else in this world. I want to bring him up as my own son in the palace. Will you allow me to do that? Then Satayana and Senyani Pratiyar felt very happy that their son would grow up in the palace as a prince. and then they agreed to let him go with the king. Sundara grew up as a prince, but in the meantime, he was also following the rituals of Vaidika, the Adishaiva community's rituals. He learned everything needed to become a king later on when he grew up, and then his Upanayanam was performed at the appropriate age as per the Shivagama rules and regulation. And then he grew up into a handsome lad and reached the age of marriage. His wedding was finalized with the beautiful daughter of Puttur, Sri Shatangavi Sivacharya Swamigal, and the members Sadayanar and Singani Pratya Taya discussed with senior Adishaiva Acharyas, and they fixed an auspicious day and time for the wedding and also the place, Puttur. It's actually now called Manam Tavirnda Puttur. That means when the marriage was cancelled. Before, it was called Manam Vanda Puttur, when this engagement was fixed. Even now, the Manantavinda Puttur is around some, I think if I recall, it's 10 to 12 kilometers from Thiruvanninallur. There is still a temple where the engagement, the marriage was about to happen. Still now, it's a small village. People in that village don't do any engagement or marriage in that small hometown. If there needs to be a marriage or engagement within that town, they go to the next nearby town and they do their marriage there, because the marriage of Sundara itself got cancelled here. Then from there on, no marriage or engagement happened in that place, and they just believe that, they just follow that. It's interesting to know. So they fixed the auspicious day and time, and then for the wedding, a palm leaf invitations were written and sent out in all four directions to all their relatives. Then Srimad Nambiyaru Swamigal got on a handsome white horse like a real king. He was accompanied by all his relatives, Adishaiva, Acharya, Shiva devotees, and then the aid from the king as well, the forces. The Sundara was decorated with white silk, diamond, rare rings, rich ornaments studded with the precious gemstones, flower garlands. He always wear the flower garlands, and liberal smearing of sandal paste on his chest. And he took on the traditional things worn by the Adiseva Savacharyas as well as the king. So he looked like a king as well as a great Adiseva Savacharya as well. And auspicious musical instruments were also played as he was approaching to the marriage hall. And women carried plates with various gifts to be given to the bride. Finally, Srimad Ambiyaru Swamigal and the groom party reached the outskirts of Puttur. Now it's called Manam Vanda Puttur. Later, it will be called Manam Thavinda Puttur. So everybody was happy, and they welcomed Sundaramurti Swamigal. The wedding hall was uh, fully decorated, and then both beautifully and very richly, and rows of shining vessels with filled water were kept as a part of decoration, as a good sign to welcome the relatives who are coming to the marriage. And colorful design drawn on the floor were eye-catching, and one could feel the beauty and purity filling the whole area. Then all the relatives gathered there. The music from various instruments added to their joy. The groom's party was welcomed in a traditional manner, how they usually welcome, with lit lamps and incense sticks. Srimad Nambiyaru Swamigal entered into the wedding hall at the auspicious hour. The guests gathered were impressed by the rare beauty of Sundaramurti Swami, because he looked like Lord Murugar, just looked like Lord Murugar. The Nambiyarurar, if you recall, when Lord Shiva said, Sundara, you'll be born in South India, and he requested him, please come and save me from entering the illusion world at the right time. It is that time. So, While Sundaramurti Swamigal was living just like a mortal man on this earth, then Lord Shiva from Kailash thought that it is the right time to keep his part of promise. So he took a form of an old senior Adi Shaiva Acharya, like 70 years old Adi Shaiva Acharya devotees, and he reached Manantavindaputtu. And the way David Chekla Swamigal was explaining his form was amazing. He walked with the faltering steps. He had a crown of shining silver hair, silver white hair on his head. He wore the rings on his ear, which we call kulai, and kandigi with rudraksha. He wore the punu, the holy white thread that the Brahmins usually wear. And the white clothes was smeared with the holy ash all over his body, all over his body. And he held an umbrella, the umbrella itself, Vedas, made with dried leaves in one hand and a bamboo stick which had kusa, tapak, which we call tapak, kusa grass, tied to one of its ends with his other hand. So just entering the marriage hall, everyone was happy. Sunambiyaru were sitting on the stage. Then he just spoke in a thunderous voice, demanding to stop the wedding proceeding. He said, "All of you listen to what I have to say." Then everybody looked at him. "All of you, Sundaran and I have an issue to be resolved. It's a case. Aruran, Nambi Aruran." Then he looked at Nambi Sundarmurti Swami and said, "Nambi Aruran, you can marry only after resolving our dispute." Then Nambi Aruran asked Swami, "What is the dispute between us which I have to resolve before marrying?" And Swami pulled out a palm leaf from his waist and showed it to the gathering and said, "This Nambi Aruran is my slave. His grandfather had given me this as a proof written by his own hand a long, long ago." Everyone was surprised to hear that. How can it be an Adisaiva Sivacharya can be a slave of another Adisaiva Sivacharya? Never heard that in the history. Then Sundaramurti Swami lost his patience. Then sarcastically saying, "You crazy old man, you must be raving mad to make such outdated claims about myself being your slave. No Adisaiva Sivacharya, no Adisaiva can own anyone else, can be a slave for anyone else." And then Sundara was a bit upset and disappointed that the wedding is getting interrupted by Swami, and who just appeared from nowhere. Then Swami replied, "Nambiyarura, you may call me by any name, raving old man, ghostly old man. I don't care. I will not feel ashamed by those names. You don't know me, but I know you all along. Your duty is to serve me as my slave. You're my slave." And then he also said, "Don't make me more angry by your useless arguments." Sundaramurti Swami was puzzled, and then he said that, but the appearance of Swami as a senior Adisaiva Sivacharya, 70 years old Adisaiva Sivacharya, melted everyone's heart. It melted everyone's heart, but the words rattled everybody to the core, because the marriage was about to happen, and Swami is like, "You need to solve the dispute before you get married." No one would want to hear that. Then Sundaramurti Swamigal asked Swami, "Show the palm leaf of evidence to me." Then Swami said he refused to show it. "Why should I show this to you as an evidence? You're not supposed to see it. You should come and work for me. You're a slave. A slave is not supposed to see this." Then Sundara tried to grab the palm leaf from Swami's hand, but he wouldn't let Sundara to do so. Swami would, so then Swami started running between the Vedika. And Sundaramurti Swami chased Swami. They ran in circles several times in the marriage hall. Finally, Sundara managed to grab Swami. No one can, anyone else can chase Swami. Brahma and Vishnu. Brahma was digging down for 10 sorry, Vishnu was digging down 10 karpas. Brahma was flying up for several karpas. They couldn't see the beginning and end of Swami. See, Nambi Arura chased and grabbed Lord Shiva. Then he grabbed the evidence, the palm leaf from Swami, and then he destroyed it immediately. Then Swami was beyond himself in rage, and he shouted, is there not anyone here in this crowd who can stop this? And then the people said, they said, senior Adisevacharya, please do tell us about yourself first. We are here to, we have all gathered to do this marriage for Nambi Arura. Old man replied, and then Swami, in the form of old man, he said, I am from Thiruvannamalur. If Sundar Nambiyarur, if he was not guilty, why did he destroy my palm leaf? That itself is a proven up that he's my slave. Then Nambiyarur replied. Then Swami said, okay, I will continue to argue in my place, since I'm sure I will not get any justice in this place. Let's go to Thiruvannamalur. Then Sundaramurti Swami said, let's go to Thiruvannamalur. Wherever, no matter where you go, no one will listen to you. Then Swami said, I still have the original palm leaf as my evidence. What you destroyed was just a copy of it. I will show the original palm leaf in the court. And I prove it, you are indeed my slave in Thiruvannamalur. Then the whole marriage party went to Thiruvannamalur. Just think about the daughter of Satangavi Savacharya Swami. Just think about the state of it. How it would have been. The marriage got disrupted. Everyone, all of them are going to a court hall. And, and the daughter of Satangavi Savacharya was just waiting. Difficult to think about that situation. So they all reached Thiruvannamalur court. Thiruvannamalur court was headed by senior Antanas who have learned four Vedas. And the court was ready to resolve the dispute between Swami and Nambiyarura. Then the judges asked Swami to proceed first. Then Swami said, Nambiyarura grandfather gave me his word that his lineage will be my slaves. But Nambiyarura tried to destroy my evidence. I'm glad it was copied. I still have the original to show it in the court. And here it is. You may take a look at it, but someone needs to confirm that again Nambiyarura will not come and grab and destroy it. Then the court would say, no, we will assure you nothing would happen to your evidence. Please hand over. Then Swami hands over evidence to palm leaf evidence to the court. They counted in the court, read the leaf loud. This is written by Tirunavallur Adisaivan Aruran. Arumarainavar Adisaivan Aruran Sege. The Pittan of Thiruvannamalur to promise that all the men of my lineage will be willingly to serve Pittan as his slaves. And then he signed it. The signature of the Nambiyarura grandfather and the witnesses were verified. And then the court said, the court asked Nambiyarura, can you come and see? Is this your grandfather's signature? He came and confirmed. Yes, that's my grandfather's signature. And then Swami said, you can go and check some of the old documents in the treasury and you can find out. And they also verified it and found to be authentic. That was Nambiar grandfather signature. And then the judgment was passed that this court confirms that Nambiar was indeed the slave of Adisiva, Thiruvanenallur, Adisiva Shivacharya, and Thiruvanenallur Pittan, and should obey his commands obediently. He needs to serve him as a slave. Then Swami led Sundara to his place, which turned out to be the Thiruvanenallur temple. Thiruvarutturai, the town name is called Thiruvanenallur, the temple is called Thiruvarutturai temple. And then Swami went inside the temple and he was about to go inside the temple. Then everyone, Sundaramurti Swami was following him. And then Swami just disappeared. Never came out again. Then Sundara stood waiting for Swami, and then the truth dawned on him now. He was looking for Swami. He couldn't see any. He didn't see the Adisiva Acharya. All of a sudden, Swami gave his darshan with Umadevi over Nandi, Rishabhadeva. Sundara, he said, you were my ardent devotee in Kailash. You were born as a human being, as I wanted you to sing the fame of my saintly devotees. And you had requested me to stop you from entering the illusion world at the right time. I did as requested by you. Then Sundaramurti Swami lifted his hands on top of his head and he prayed to the Shiva. My Lord, I have no words to praise your mercy. Please forgive me. I said you're a crazy Pitta. I called you Pitta. Swami is always kind, he said. You call me Pittan, so you praise me as Pittan now. Sing Deva. You praise me as Pittan, and you will be known as one Tondar because you call me Pittan. And you will sing my praise in many sweet Tamil verses which I love. So you may sing with that first word, first phrase, Pittan. Then Sundara sang Tirumurai, Pitta Pirai Savan Tirumurai song, Pitta Pirai Perumane Arunala, Ittan Maravadi Vene Kindren Munathunne, Paitai Pene Tenpal Vene Nallur Arutturayur, Atta Unakala Ini Alene Lame. That is the first Deva of Nambiar Swami in this world. And then Sundaramurti Swami forgot about everything. He started worshipping Lord Shiva. The bride, Srimad Sadangesava Acharya Swami, daughter, who was fixed for Nambiar, held him in his, though the marriage was cancelled, held him in her heart as her God. As long as she lived, she got easily freed from the cycle of birth and death. She attained the lotus feet of Lord Shiva very easily. Sundaramurti Swami started visiting all the Shiva shrines, singing the glory of the Lord. And then after Thiruvanenallur, he went to Tirutturayur, Tirunavalur, Tirutturayur, and then we were going to discuss about how he went to Tiruvarur in the next class. Okay. So far we have covered the initial part of Sundaramurti Swami and how Swami came from Kailash and blessed him. And the next class we will cover how Nambiar Swami went to Tiruvarur and became a friend of Swami himself. got married to Paravaya and then the history of Thiruchitrambalam. So with that said, we will close the session for today. We'll meet again next week. Thiruchitrambalam. என்றும் இன்பம் பெருகும் இயல்பினால் ஒன்று காதலித்து உள்ளம் ஒங்கிட மன்றுளாரடியார் அவர் வான்புகள் நின்றது எங்கும் நிலவி உலகலாம். திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். ஹரஹர நம பார்வதி பதையே. ஹரஹர மகாதேவா. சிற்சவேசா சிவசிதம்பரம். திருச்சிற்றம்பலம்.